Terrific Tuesday! How are we doing, everybody? We're back with your man, repping Notre Dame, fighting Irish, baby, with Moving the Chains podcast. We're rocking and rolling with your host, Sammy the Man McIntyre. Hope we're doing well today. Not as good as Jacksonville. Holy moly, that was a great comeback last night. What a scene. Duval was rocking, rolling. Not much of a home field advantage, but they were rocking, they were rolling last night. Want to touch on that game. I got Miami, Florida State. I didn't touch on that game. There were so much great college football games. I was down with the Colts game. But I want to start with this. So Kansas City lost last night. They were up 14-0. They were the better team last night. There's no doubt about it. Mahomes, they were 14-0. They were I don't know what the point spread was, but they were pretty favored last night. And they just didn't close. And this is what happens. The NFL, any given Sunday, baby, this is what happens. I thought Cardinals were going to win. They were favored by 7.5 against Titans that were winless, and they lost. So, I want to touch on, though, with Kansas City. So, listen, I'm a Raider fan, diehard. You guys know that. And listen, my respect for the Chiefs, I hate them, just like my brother does, but I respect the hell out of them. I respect Andy Reid. I've always been a fan of Andy Reid, going back to his days in Philadelphia. I loved his development with Brett Favre back in Green Bay, back in the mid-'90s, when that kind of train got rolling, and Green Bay's been on that elite run of stable organizationally with their franchise since going back to Ron Wolf days. That's kind of when the train started. So they've been very excellent, and Andy Reid deserves credit. He got Brett Favre rolling. Mainly it was Holmgren, but Brett Favre was Andy Reid was the quarterback coach. He got that thing rolling. So when they took Mahomes, kind of the same thing. Let this kid develop, let him learn a little bit from a veteran, and then watch what happens. And you saw it. I was out in Oakland that first year, balling. Mahomes was on a tear. And last night, to me, their receiving core, listen, it's not what it was 4 years ago. However, it feels similar to that with Tyreek Hill. The speed factor, they're going to get guys back. They're still going to be okay. This is not a panic mode for Kansas City. However, you are 2-3, and if you lose to Detroit next Sunday night, which I'm not sitting here saying they will lose, it's an Arrowhead, tough place, under the lights. I've been there. It's an electric atmosphere, one of the best in football, probably in my life. But let's just throw hypothetical out. You lose that game, you're 2-4. But on the flip side, I'll flip it another angle here. They're looking at that division. Their only competition is Denver now. Because Denver's legit. I'm not sitting here, being a homer. But they're legit, man. I watched their team. They got defense. They got 6 sacks on Hurts on Sunday. They got Bo Nix is playing well. They got decent weapons. I see the momentum that Denver has. But I've seen this movie. I can't doubt the Chiefs. I've been saying this for years. My dad and I looked at each other last night. My brother's like, they're winning. And I'm looking at my dad. I'm going, Mahomes is different. Mahomes is something else. And I've seen it up close twice. He's broken my heart as a Raider fan. So, excuse me. So, I'm not sitting here saying the Chiefs are done. Their season's still, we got a lot of game left. But I'm more impressed with people that overcome a lot of shit. And Mahomes have to overcome this. He's their offense right now. They can't run the ball. Their offensive line's kind of a makeshift. It got better last night. Still don't know why Jacksonville didn't get a pass rush. I'll get to them in a second. But to me, I'm looking at Kansas City. They're going to be fine. I still think I do not want to face them. And maybe this is the year they go, win a wild card game, lose divisional. That happens. Not a lot of teams, Brady and Belichick in their run, had some struggles, okay? I'm not asking you to be perfect, okay? You're going to have a down year to their standards, okay? And so, listen, they're going to be okay. I do worry about the pass game. Defensively, they were sloppy last night from an Andy Reid team that's uncharacteristic. Maybe it was just Jacksonville, first-time Monday night game. Maybe it just got the jitters. Who knows? But that game last night, to me, saw some stuff with Kansas City that kind of concerns me, but not entirely, because they still got Mahomes, Reid, that infrastructure, the Hunt family. I don't doubt them for a second. They're going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to be in the dance, because I look at this division right now. My Raiders are a mess, and believe me, I'm going to dive deep into them tomorrow. Stay tuned, because I got a shitload to talk about, along with Bill Belichick. The gift that keeps on giving of a grumpy, angry, bitter old asshole. So I will get in that tomorrow. But that's just sneak preview. But I will say, sorry, I'm stretching here for a second. But I will say, Chiefs are going to be okay. There's no need to panic. I got my homies. I got the better version of Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, whatever you want to put him in. He's going to be okay. Chiefs are going to be okay. A little alarming last night, considering they had a 14-0 lead. They averaged 7 yards a play. Usually teams like that are 33-0. Crazy stat last night, but they didn't. So they're going to be okay. I'm not worried about Kansas City one bit. They're going to be fine. That was a get-right game. It is alarming, but they're going to be okay. So I want to touch on the Duval Jacksonville Jaguars with that come-from-behind win last night. And yes, Trevor Lawrence came alive. Now, I'm the one that's been critical of Trevor Lawrence, and I have. Now, is he ever going to live up to those astronomical expectations that he got heaped on prior to the draft? No. Absolutely not. Not a snowball chance in hell. However, he could be an upper echelon quarterback if he wants to. Now, again, there's times, and I heard this from Trent Dilfer going back to the Elite 11 camp, that Trevor, when his feet get too wide, he overthrows shit. And I've seen it. And I'm telling you, I encourage you guys to all watch the games. Go watch his footwork. Because sometimes he's hailing balls over his head, and he's throwing them in the dirt, and that. The other thing is, and I heard this today, he never was under center a lot in college. It was more just shotgunning, which a lot of these teams do. So Trevor Lawrence had to learn new shit. Now, I thought with Doug Peterson, that worked a couple years ago, 25-8. 2022, he was phenomenal. I remember that playoff game. They came back and beat the Chargers. That was the 27-0 game. 27-3, excuse me. So I do believe Trevor Lawrence, there's something in there with him, that killer mentality he can have. But I don't know, you got to push him a little bit. And that, again, I'm trying to change my opinion. My dad's like, change your opinion. I got it. But I can't go off what my eyes tell me. My eyes are telling me he hangs on the ball too long. He's doing stupid shit, throwing the ball. And listen, I'm four guys that are pushing the ball down the field, which Trevor can. That slingshot throw he made to Brian Thomas Jr. last night was fantastic. One of the best throws of his career. And Brian Thomas Jr., that guy's a stud. Come on, LSU and Ohio State are wide receiver you for crying out loud. Look at the tutelage, man. I mean, it's insanity. So I do think Jacksonville, but again, they're still trying to learn how to win. They've been trying to do that. It's like the Raiders. They've been so dysfunctional. All this crap going on. And I do think Liam Cohen's a little goofy. His press conference, kind of being a goofy goober. But he knows what he's doing. Listen, he got Will Levis to be a top 5 selection going into that 2022 year. And then 2022, we all saw what happened with Will Levis fell off a cliff. I believed in him because I saw the traits. My point is, he left, went to the NFL, went with, I believe, the Rams, and then went to Tampa, got Baker Mayfield on track, and then he was with Baker last 2 years in Tampa, 23 and 24, and then he got the Jaguar job. So I do think he's done a really nice job with Trevor Lawrence, getting him more comfortable, getting the boots, getting the action game going, getting Trevor on the run. He's very underrated as a runner. I'm not saying he's Lamar, but he's kind of like Patrick Mahomes in the sense, like, okay, like, they're kind of unutilizing his legs a little bit because he's got some talent, and there's no doubt about it. So I appreciate that with Trevor Lawrence. Again, got to clean up the penalties. I mean, they just looked sloppy last night. I'm watching. I'm like, clock it. There's no urgency. Their urgency was at a 2 there. I needed a fucking 10. Get on my fucking tempo. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite movies, Walton Whiplash. But my point is, that was a good win by Jacksonville. They got Seattle coming up. That's going to be a great matchup. Trevor, Sam Darnold, I cannot wait for that fireworks show to go down in Duval County. But besides that, Jacksonville, great win. This was without Trayvon Walker last night. Listen, their defense could not stop Patrick Mahomes. They gave him way too much time. But I will say this, Travis Hunter looked like a stud. They gave him juice last night. I heard Bucky Brooks was talking about that tonight. And I agree with them. Gave him jukes, gave him spunk. And it was just a great all-time performance by the Jaguars. And they get the win on Monday Night Football to go to 4-1, tied with the Colts. Who would have thought that before the year started? Holy shit. So, the other game I wanted to touch on was the in-state rivalry, Florida and Florida State. That was a great game Saturday night. I watched most of it. And Carson Beck looks like a new man. He looks like he's slinging that pill. He looks confident. I've always never doubted the talent. I know at Georgia, he was kind of the scapegoat. Brock Bowers leaves. Glad McConkey. His numbers go down. I get all that. But he goes to Miami now. In Miami, listen, they're a glamour franchise. I've said this before. Texas, USC, Miami. They're glamour, right? They're sizzle. They're flash. They're sexy. It's Miami Vice. And it's, all the crap, right? But when I watch Miami, they're physical. And they remind me of those old Miami teams with Jimmy Johnson back in the day, with Warren Sapp and the Jerome Browns. RIP, by the way. Those guys. And that Desmond Bain dude, if he is not a top 15 pick whenever he goes in the draft, I'm going to be pissed. Because they're high on some drugs. Because that guy is an absolute F the playoff kind of guy. Ruin your game plan. You put up a red dot on him because he is all over the field. He's a gamer. He's tough. He's big. He's just long arms. He looks like Bane from Batman. He just looks like, he looks like a badass. And I'm watching him on a crystal ball, and this offensive line imposes you. Now, they're more throw-a-thon lately, but I'm watching Miami, and they're the best team in college football right now. I mean, the way that they're running the football. Now, again, I don't trust Mario. That's my one wild card. But you put them on a field, Florida State. Now, listen, I'm not knocking Florida State because they're really good, too. And Mike Norvell's done a really nice job to rebound after that catastrophic year they had last year where they didn't get the quarterback right and they were 2-10. It was awful down in Tallahassee. But I will say with Miami, they are fun to watch. I love what they're doing on running the ball. They got a stable of backs that are solid. They've got dudes everywhere on the defensive line. It looks like the old Miami teams. 0-1. Those kind of teams. So, watch out. Because Miami is coming, and they are coming fast and electric with it. And I will say this with Florida State. Listen, Tommy Castellanos, he looks like Kyler Murray clone to me. But he's fun to watch. I don't know if he's a pro guy. But him in college, running around. I love it when they beat Alabama. Shove it down your throat, Paul Feinbaum. I love it when Alabama loses. It just makes my day. There's just certain people in life that I hope lose. Whenever their teams lose, I just am in a better mood. It's just sports. That's just how it is. Alabama and Bill Belichick, when those guys go, it's just funny. So I will say this with Florida State. They're a good football team. And listen, they're in the top 25. They had a good year. They've had a bounce back. Tommy Castellanos, he's been awesome. Gene Chiswick's Gus Malzahn's the offensive coordinator. I figured I should have known going into that Bama game. Gus Malzahn kind of got the tempo. Started the new tempo movement in the SEC. Saban kind of gave him fits with the running quarterback, Nick Marshall. So I see a lot of those things going with Florida State. And their defense is getting better. And they have got dudes everywhere, man. So that was a great game. It was Miami dominated. Then Florida State made a furious comeback. But Miami, Florida got the win. They remain unbeaten. I think they're going to win the ACC. Going away. I mean, I thought it was Penn State, Texas for the national championship. I am fucking wrong. Miami's in that boat. So that's all I want to touch on tonight. Hope you guys are doing well. Go Irish. Tomorrow, stay tuned. I got my Raider reaction. I've got a boatload of shit to talk about. Talk on Bill Belichick and how he's a grumpy, arrogant asshole. But you hope you guys are doing well. Terrific Tuesday. Adios. Love you guys. Godspeed.